What's up, my good looking people? I don't know what y'all look like, but I'm sure it's good. Okay, so in this video, y'all are gonna find out something about me that you probably would be shocked by, and you'd be like, what? You know, because it's not how I am anymore. So growing up, I was very introverted. Can you believe that? I was very quiet. I didn't really talk a whole lot, like just giving my opinion on things. If I was asked, sure, I would talk and, you know, could keep a conversation going, but it wasn't really my jam. Like, I was more of a listener. So we're going to talk about that in this video today. And then later I'm going to talk about something that hopefully will encourage you for where you're possibly at. And like, you don't think you can get better because that's just who you are, but I'm going to tell you how you can. Okay, so stick around for that. Okay, so back to me being an introvert. Like, if you don't know me really, okay, you're watching this and you just found it on YouTube or somewhere and you don't really know me. Well, you could go, and you'd probably see from this video, but you could go back to all my videos, all my double shots, all my other videos I've posted, watch them and just see my personality, and you would have no clue that I was introverted, right? Because I'm just like, what's up, guys? You know, like, it's just not how I am anymore. And I was that way for most of my life, you know? So it's kind of crazy because, so I was extroverted when I was around people that I was very comfortable with. So around my family, I was like this. Around like my gym family, I was like this. It was like people I knew and felt comfortable with, and I was good at like talking to people that came into my space, but I wasn't good at going into their space and starting something random up, right? My sister would be like, Tiffany, hey, you want to go eat somewhere, go to a bar and just like hang out and maybe meet some people? I'm like, no, that sounds absolutely terrible. Like, that is the last thing that I want to do. That sounds awful. You know, like me staying at home and like getting something done or learning something or reading, or that all sounds kind of lame, or doing a project, like anything at home, like I would rather do. Like, don't put me in a situation around people, because that just sounds terrible. Like, that's how it used to be, literally. But I was crazy and fun, and I'd love to dance, but like not only around people I was comfortable with. And it was just very confusing. And my sister told me, she was like, Tiffany, you are the most extroverted introvert I know. And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, is that a thing? I literally Googled it. What is an extroverted introvert? And literally, listen, if you're watching this and you are me, like you are an introvert, or you're an introvert but like you're comfortable around certain people, y'all, have you ever Googled it? Like, it's literally a thing. Like, it is a big thing. There are articles written on it, what an extroverted introvert is. And when I read that, I felt like I had like discovered who I was. Like, it was wild. I was like, I had no clue that was even a thing. I was always just very confused. Like, I was like introverted, but also not. And I was just always like, I don't know why, how, why am I like this? I don't know. But I literally looked it up and I was like, what? I feel like I've been discovered. Like, this is normal, you know? Like, it was so cool. I remember that day, like clear as day. Well, so anyway, so life just happened, like certain situations in my life, to where I had to be more independent. So I was like, you know, if I want certain things, like, I'm gonna have to step out and do them, and that involves talking to people. like I'm gonna have to get comfortable. Like I wanted to do some fitness modeling and I was like, if I do this, I'm going to have to drive somewhere super far and I'm gonna have to talk to all these people and like, you know, be judged, which I didn't really care about. That was fine. But like, I was gonna have to like step out if I wanted to do anything in life. So it's because I wanted to do those things, I guess, that I started to kind of change, And then like also my passion is people. This doesn't sound like it. Literally earlier in the video, I was like, ew, I don't want to talk to people. That's so funny because because my passion is people and helping people and loving people and showing them their worth and everything. But like I didn't fall into that calling until a little bit later in life, to where I knew that was my thing. And by then I was starting to get a little bit warmed up and changing to be a little bit more extroverted anyway. But that was funny. But I knew, like, if I'm gonna love on people and like, I can't just wait for all of them to come to me. Like I gotta step out. I gotta start talking to people, because that creates conversation and that creates connectivity. Like I knew if I wanted to do the things that I wanted to do, I had to start stepping out. And that's scary. That's scary, right? Like I didn't want to do that, but I had things that I wanted to do that that was better than that fear that I had of doing it, like I wanted to go after those so much that I was like, I'm just gonna have to do it. So I did them. Like I started to do it, and that stuff, when you actually do something, it starts to build your confidence, and like it helps you to make it easier with those things, like talking to people. Like it seems like it would be easy to talk to somebody, but it's not. When you're an introvert, if you're an introvert, it's not easy to talk to people. And so just the fact of doing it really helps to build that. And I think that's just what I started doing, was doing it, And so with this video, I wanted to come on here because like, when you're introverted, you just feel like that's just how you are. That's what it is. That's how I am. Like, I wish I could do that, and I wish I could go on stage, or I wish I could hang out in big crowds, but I just can't. But this is just who I am. Well, that's what I wanted to tell you and encourage you with, that you can get better at that. You can be intentional about it and get better at it. Being an introvert is not a bad thing. Like, that's cool. Like I was, but if being an introvert is holding you back from doing the things you want to do, that's when maybe you want to start working on it, right? Because my introvertedness was holding me back. It was, for me personally. If you're good, you're vibing, cool. Don't change who you are, but you can adjust like how you are if that's what you want, right? So I wanted that personally because I wanted to go after things that were scary. Introvertedness is not ideal for that. Let me just tell you. So I started to just do the things that I didn't want to do to get better at it, and then I just got better at it, and then I just started, like, I don't know, you get looser and looser and looser, and then like then you're like how you are around your comfortable people, around everybody. Like it just, for me, it just flowed because I kept practicing it and like kept doing things that pushed me outside of that comfortable bubble that I loved to be in. I loved my bubble. I loved it. You can ask any of my family, my friends that knew me like during that time. They knew I knew it. Like, I didn't want to do anything. Like, I didn't want to travel. I didn't want to go far. Like, I was like super comfortable right here in my bubble. And I was. And then I was like, I just like flipped. I'm like, I want to do these goals and I want to see the world. And so I was like, oh, if I want these things, then I'm gonna have to change some things because currently I don't even want to talk to people that I don't know, you know? So I hope this encourages y'all that you can change not who you are, because I still have that introvertedness that comes out in me. Like, I would rather be at home a lot of times than being out partying, like, or being out socializing. Like, I like to get stuff done and I like to be at home, and that amps me up way more than like going out and partying all the time. But that is also really good for me. Like being around people, not partying. I don't know, like, you know, hanging out amongst friends. We play volleyball, we hang out, whatever. That is super good for me. And I know it's super good for me because I get my blinders on and I'm so like driven that it becomes too much, you know? So I need a balance. So I can get out here in my extrovertedness to kind of fulfill that. So that introvertedness does sneak in a little bit, you know, it's still in there. So I'm not saying change who you are, but only change aspects of it if you don't want it to hold you back. That makes sense? Yeah, so I just wanted to come on here and encourage you, because if you didn't know me back then, like, and this wasn't too far back, like what, 6 years, 7 maybe? You have no idea I was ever like that because of how I am now, you know? So it's wild I always think about it. I always think about it. And when people come to me and talk to me about like their social level being capped out or however they say it, I'm like, I feel that. Like I feel that so deep. So I can relate with the introvertedness because that's who I was for most of my life. So just want to encourage y'all, it only in the aspect of if it's holding you back to adjust some things, and you can, okay? But you just have to do the hard things that put you outside your comfort zone, okay? Hope this helped you guys. I like, you know, I wouldn't be where I am today, like if I didn't do those things. Like I'm a fitness coach, you know, I have an app now. Like none of this stuff would have happened if I didn't talk to people. You know, if I didn't grow and, you know, change kind of how I operated. So it's been really great. If you want to come over and join me on my app, it's all love and acceptance. You don't have to step too far out, but then once you're there, for Kukui, like we're constantly learning about growing and becoming better and doing things regardless of fear, you know, like do it anyway. So if you want to be encouraged in that way, come over to my app, join me. I'll post the description, the link in the description, or just here on my YouTube channel, subscribe and stick around, you know, like either way, we have avenues for you to grow and be who you want to be. All right. Love you guys. I'll see y'all on the next one.